hang out with me if you're well. No, because these don't even save the replay. That's kind of nice. There's downsides to not having a replay to your live videos because people that weren't here could go back and watch them. But often live videos are so tailor-made to the audience that is viewing it live, so it's kind of nice that they don't save live videos here on YouTube or over on the talk. The live video, there is no replay. It's just while you're live, you're live. That's kind of nice because with a replay, there's a lot of pressure to create a video. It's such a weird dance to walk when you're trying to create a video for replay value, because you're trying to hang out with the live audience at the same time trying to say shit for the people that are going to watch later, and it's a conjobbled mess. So I really appreciate not having to worry about a frickin' replay. What's up? Got some people watching. Good morning. Come on in and hang out with me. Getting some things done today. I am working on some jokes, working on some material. I got a comedy gig coming up in 9 days up in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Got a 20-minute spot. Well, 20 to 30 minutes, depending. If it's going good, I'm sure they won't tell me to stop, It's a benefit for a young lady who's got melanoma. Her mother we went to high school together, and she hit me up and was like, hey, I know you're fairly popular in the northern Wisconsin area on social media. If you would help us out and come up and do something for us and just help spread the word, you bet. I'm all in. So I will be in Eau Claire on the 28th. The benefit starts at 2 o'clock. I'm not sure what time my comedy spot will start, but if you're in that area and you want to come out and support a good cause, come on down. What's up? Good morning. State Island Karen. Good to see you, Karen. Staten Island? Staten Island Karen. Is this a Karen from Facebook? Do I know you? I'm new over here on the tube, so I'm getting used to the names. The screen names throw me off, man, because over on Facebook, I'm used to everybody having their full legal name as their name. You know what I mean? First and last name right there every time. Now people are just Crazy Noodle 86, and I don't know who it is. Good morning, bro. Yes, you know me. Oh, good. What's up, Josh Mutimer? Look at that. I got all my homies coming in. Good to see you guys. Yeah, I figured we're going to figure out a schedule because very soon here I'm stepping away from my full-time position. I'm taking a part-time position at the campground, and I'm going to be doing part-time campground duties and then full-time working on my own stuff, doing content creation, speaking on stages, things like that. As of right now, the achievable goal that I have set is to do one speaking engagement a month. I really want to move into more than that, but we're setting the low goal at one. Your videos are always so great. Appreciate it. How you doing? So right now I have one this month doing a benefit up in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, 20 to 30 minute comedy spot. And then next month I have nothing on the calendar, but I have reached out to the local library to see if I could just come there and do a speaking engagement, do a presentation. This is kind of my time to go to school. I'm going to get into stand-up comedy. I've done some stand-up comedy. I've been doing public speaking for 8 years, but in the past 2 years, I think I've done 5 comedy spots. So I'm really pivoting towards comedy, still keeping the whole inspirational, motivational recovery side of everything, but pivoting it more towards a comedy direction. That's just more who I am, starting to move into the true me a little more, Been doing this a long time, and I've found that that's the part that I really love, is making people laugh and joking and having fun. So that's the part we're pivoting towards. So as that progresses, I'll keep you guys in the loop, let you know where I'm going to be, when I'm going to be there. In May, I have a workshop that I'm doing at a local storytelling event here in Whitewater. If you're in the southern Wisconsin area and you want to meet me, come on out. Howdy, mateys. Good morning, Screeby. How you doing? Jose Luis. Hi. Che. What's up, Che? Good to see you guys this morning. I am moving slow this morning, but I am motivated. I'm still going to get some stuff done. I'm going to make myself write some jokes. I went over my comedy bit. It needs to be, I would like to have at least 15 minutes of scripted comedy and then mix in crowd work and stuff like that. But there is also some other stuff that I'm going to be doing with this. So I got to reach out to the event coordinator, reach out to my friend and see if everything's going to fit in the window they would like me to speak within. But I think I put together something really awesome. So I had my wife as my one audience member the other night, and I did some comedy for her here in the house, and it went really well. It went really well. We learned a lot along the way, but I found that I would like to add a couple more jokes into my intro there. So we're gonna work on that today. I'm also gonna work on just some quick one-liner jokes. Just have a few in my head just for doing some crowd work sessions like that, Want to have some stuff loaded in the chamber, ready for answering questions. Funny, man. Gotta be funny on the spot, right? It's good, though, because I'm doing this event for a friend, so it's kind of a low-pressure gig. This is my first speaking engagement. I think I did one speaking engagement all last year. Last year, if you guys remember, about a year and a half ago, I kind of had a moral dilemma there where I wasn't sure who the hell I want to be and what I want to do with my life. Is this the way I want to continue? Should I just give up? Blah, 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 all of that. And then for last year, I kind of threw in the towel. I was very much like, if something comes along, I'll take it, but I'm not going to do the whole reaching out. I'm not going to try to book any gigs. I'm not going to push for this anymore. I'm just going to take my normal 40-hour-a-week job and be thankful for what I have, and I'm going to back down. This year, I'm like, okay, screw that, because I'm falling into even more depression. And it kind of just was like this epiphany of realizing, dude, a big reason why I went into drug addiction in the first place was because I hated the idea of that 40-hour-a-week, this is your life, blah, 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 going through it. Some people that fulfills them and they find purpose in that. That's freaking awesome. But for me, that sent me into drug addiction because I'm like, I didn't want that life. And so I got to shake myself up and chase my dreams. All right. I subscribe to your channel. I subscribe to your channel. Right on. Sweet. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on by. You got a crown by your name. I don't know what any of the things mean here on YouTube yet. I haven't done much live videos over here. So I'm trying to come up with a schedule here for live videos. I would like to do one a week on all of my platforms. I now have 3 platforms. I've been on Facebook for years, but now I've recently expanded here. So we're on the Tube and we're on the Talk. I don't know the rules on either of them. I'm learning there's a shit ton of rules on TikTok. So I'm hoping that there's a lot less rules here on YouTube. Over on frickin' TikTok, man, I can't even say Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok over there, and my live will get shut down. People have told me. I have no idea. Crown is the person who talks the most. Oh yeah, nice. Striving for more can lead to burnout at times when you don't take time to relax as well. Been hard to learn. I appreciate that because yeah, that's me too. I have time, I know that I'm supposed to take breaks, but it's like, how am I supposed to schedule those breaks? Because, creativity kind of comes at a flow. So sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to create all this stuff. And then other times I don't have any creativity going on. And it's just trying to figure out a schedule to it, but also still keeping it enough free flow where it allows for creative flow and things like that. It's a crazy thing to come up with. So right now, I know I'm going to do Tuesday mornings on TikTok because that's Toothless Tuesday. If you see this tooth in the background here, over on TikTok, people throw up gifts and stuff like that during your live videos, and you can actually make a little money doing it. So what I started doing is I'm going to save all that money that we make from TikTok, and I'm going to help somebody get their teeth fixed. Or we're going to, rather. So anybody if you have TikTok and you want to join in on this, come on over Tuesday mornings, 10 o'clock on TikTok. We go live, and anything that comes in on that live gets added to the pool. And eventually, I don't know how long it'll take, but eventually we're going to help somebody get their teeth fixed. So that'll be my Tuesday morning live. And then I'm leaning towards like right now, like a Thursday, 10 a.m. here on YouTube. And then I got to figure out a day to go live over on the Facebook as well. Facebook lives have really gone downhill over the years, but it is still, that's my home, man. I got most of my followers are over there, even though I've been frickin' punched in the face so many times by Zuckerberg. My account is so not recommended anymore. Let's see. I know sometimes even when relaxing, feeling guilty, you aren't doing something at that time. Yeah, it gets that way. Sometimes it's like, what in the frick, man? Yeah, you'll have days where you're just like in a creative flow and you're just pushing and creating and things are just lining up and the wind's at your back. You know, you're just making all this forward progress. And then you'll have days where that wind changes and all of a sudden it's harder to make any forward progress whatsoever. What have you found the best platform to stream on? I don't really have much of an opinion on that. As I said, I just started doing this on YouTube and TikTok. For the longest time, my vote was Facebook. Their live videos over there were awesome. I loved the interactions. I loved a lot of the things about it. But all of a sudden, they've really pushed into Reels, and I think I think a lot of the shit that happened on Facebook Live, okay, there's been a lot of, it's harder to censor a live video, that's for sure. And Facebook has a lot of censorship that goes on. So I think on that aspect, they're leaning away from live videos. And then there's been like murders that took place on live video and stuff on Facebook. So I think a lot of that has just added up to Facebook is really phasing out their live videos. So they haven't really updated the stuff. It's very glitchy. It drives me a little freaking nuts anymore. So I've really kind of given up on Facebook Lives. Over on TikTok, it's a lot of fun. It's a little distracting, but it's a lot of fun. They throw up GIFs and things on the screen, and your viewers can put filters on you while you're talking. So it gets a little distracting, but it's a lot of fun. I'll give it that. It is a lot of fun. Hi. Caitlin Tanner's here. Woo! I haven't seen that name in a long time. Aw, that's cute. That's my wife. Her name's Caitlin Jablonsky these days. Let's see. Cool. I'm keeping up with the comments. Yeah, so just gearing up for a summer filled with live interactions with real people and being on a content creator out here. And I'm not saying that you guys aren't real, but with the social media platforms these days, there's a lot more, especially with shorts and reels and TikTok videos. There's a lot more, you get seen by a person one time and then they never see you again. That happens a lot on social media, right? As people, have you ever been scrolling and you see a video by somebody and then you never see that person's face again? You only see one piece of their content, right? And there's a lot more of that happening with shorts and reels, which back when I first started doing social media, it was a lot more of a personal interaction because you did a lot more live videos. Videos were mostly live or long form content. So you actually got to know the person a little bit, and there was almost more bonding created in those ways. The ways that content creation is done now with just pump out as much short content as you can, it becomes very impersonal. That's what I've noticed about it. It becomes very impersonal. Sometimes the people that pop in, you'll never see them again. So they pop in and sometimes they say rude shit or whatever, so it gets a little, I don't know, being blasted all over, across the entire world. It gets a little overwhelming at times and a little impersonal. And that's the other thing with the screen names. A lot of people don't have their actual name as their screen name. We got a lot here that do. Joseph McDonald, we got a Josh Mutimer, we got a Caitlin Tanner, but then there's Skeeby, I don't know. And I mean, that's fine. I'm not knocking you for it. I'm not saying you should change it unless you feel led that way. But it creates an impersonal thing where like your name is Crazy Noodle 86 or whatever, it's not even your real nickname in the real world. I have no idea who the frick you are. You have no idea who the frick I am. And then the world is so fleeting nowadays. I think the digital age has brought upon a temporary age, as I would say, because it's so, people follow you and then they hear one thing that they don't like or see one picture that they don't like and unfollow and they're gone forever. There's no such thing as like a follower who's like, no matter what you say or what you do, I am here. But I think that also comes with people do fucked up shit, like there's stuff that people do that that you or I would never even think that was a thing that people do, so I guess it comes because of all the shit that's coming out, especially nowadays, it creates this whole trust barrier of can you really trust that person on the other side of that screen? What are they really up to when the camera's off? I'm probably smoking pot. That's what I'm doing. Okay. Or playing video games, or I'm working. Let's see. Even the negative comments interaction still helps your videos get out there. Yeah, for sure. I mean, even the negative adds up, but like, you have to have a fairly thick skin to get into it and to put yourself out on the main screen these days. Because people walking by and just dropping passive-aggressive, shitty comments at you sometimes can get under a guy's skin, you know? And I've definitely had my days where, like, it's like, oh, man, so-and-so. But over the years, I've gotten over it a little bit, you know, to the point where now it's like, oh, no, some guy in Oregon said I'm not funny, you know? Like, my comedy career is over. But I've met people that it's just not that's just not for them, you know? And there are times where, you know, like even me, I'm sensitive sometimes, okay? And people on the internet will pick out the one thing that you're self-conscious about. They'll like scroll past my video and be like, that guy's smile is crooked or something, and just hit me right in the heart and ruin my whole day. Josh, because I work nights, so I rarely get to watch your lives. Yeah, I know, man. I know. Been sick the past 2 days, so I'm home and able to watch. Oh, right on, bro. Right on. What games have you been playing lately? Honestly, I have been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 has been the most I've played recently. Me and the wife have started switching off on missions and just going through the storyline. I've beat it separately. She's beat it separately, but recently we started playing together a little bit on that one. So that one's been a lot of fun. Other than that, I have a retro console with like everything from like old school computer games and Atari and regular Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis and all the way up to PlayStation 1. And it's got like 70,000 games on it or something. So I'm an extremely ADHD gamer. Like I come downstairs with the idea like I'm going to play some Mario Brothers this morning, and then I get down there and I play some Mario Brothers for a little while, and then I'm like, oh, I should play some Metal Gear Solid. So I switch it over to PlayStation 1 and I play some Metal Gear Solid. Like, so I'm all over the place when I'm gaming. So it's rare that I actually find a game that I stick to, other than Rockstar Games seems to create video games that really lock my brain in. Are you a ginger? Not necessarily a ginger. I do have some Irish in me, so I have some red hair going on. In the right light, I have very red hair, and I'm fairly pale because it's winter in Wisconsin and I haven't been in the sun. So I'm not necessarily a ginger. If you come back in a couple months, I'll be a little more tan. I'm sorry if it's causing any problems with your eyes, you know? This guy back here, he knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, so it's rare that I find a game that I can actually lock into and play. And one trouble that I've had too with that retro gaming console, it's an emulator console, so it doesn't actually have physical media, you know. Metal Gear Solid 1, for instance, is a 2-disc game. I cannot for the life of me figure out how to switch discs on this fucking game. Because there's no disc. There's no disc. You just have to switch the file. But when I pull up the other file, it doesn't have a memory card. It saves to the internal SD card. So I'm just upset with the whole thing. I can't play disc 2 of Metal Gear Solid, and I'm still pissed off about it. I imagine I'll get over it. But speaking of nerd things, Spider-Man Brand New Day, the trailer dropped yesterday for the next Spider-Man movie, and I'm so freaking pumped. Like, I can't wait. May 29th it comes out, and I'm going to the theaters. I'm going to see it. Me and the wife. I broke her heart, and I watched it without her yesterday morning.
Yeah, what the fuck? You've been meaning.
Here she is to yell.
You didn't even offer to show it to me until today.
We were busy yesterday.
Yeah, you've been meaning.
I'm sorry. Well, you watched How to Train Your Dragon without me, so that's what you get.
Whatever.
Ha ha ha! Matthew! Hey, good morning! Come on in. CapCut. I like your YouTube short shows. I got to go, but wanted to tell you that. I'm looking forward to the next. Right on. CapCut is the name, well, with C's though. CapCut is the name of the program I use for editing my videos. So awesome. There's a new Spider-Man Magic the Gathering set too. Right on! Spider-Man Magic the Gathering. I haven't really gotten into the card games. Never even into the Pokemon cards when I was a kid or nothing. I liked Pokemon. I liked the video games. I didn't really like the actual card games. So I've never really gotten into Magic the Gathering. But yeah, I just seen the new trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Super pumped for it. Punisher, Scorpion's in it. Who else did I see in there? Mary Jane's got a new boyfriend. We got a shot. One thing that I thought was kind of cool was they did a camera shot from inside Spider-Man's mask looking at his face. And normally that's a thing we only get with the Iron Man movies. So that was kind of a cool camera shot that I thought was neat. And it looks like Spider-Man's going to be getting his biological Spider-Man powers. He's getting the biological web shooters in his wrists. I seen the one scene he's like wakes up all webbed up in a cocoon pretty much. So he's going through, he's molting. The spider is molting. And then we see the scene where his eyes turn black. So I think that's like, what's the other guy? Not Venom. Man Spider. That was it. There was a comic book series where Spider-Man started to become more spider than man, and his eyes turned black like that. So I see with the passing out, and then he was going to visit Bruce Banner at the university to ask him about spiders molting and stuff. So I think we're going to get a man spider storyline. So that's pretty cool. Remember in the 90s he had 4 arms and stuff? Oh, that was Doppelganger was the other Spider-Man that had extra arms. Who's going to be playing him? It's Tom Holland again. Tom Holland is back in the driver's seat as Spider-Man. Have you ever thought to be a father, bro? Of course. Many thoughts of being a father. That is the conversation my wife and I have been in for a few years, if we want to have kids or not, and when we want to do such things. And if we want to do that before I get too friggin' old. I'm coming up on 40 now, so I'd be the 40-year-old guy with a little kid going to all these frickin' parent-teacher conferences, looking at all these young parents sitting around me. That would be my life. But but no, I know people have said, I'd be a good father, and then it would give me an excuse for doing all these nerdy, childish things. I know that's the main thing, is then I would have an excuse for watching How to Train My Dragon and playing old school video games and watching Spider-Man movies. You would be a great dad, bro. Keep pushing that woman. Right on. Well, it's a mutual decision, and it's. I think she's more on board than I am with it. I've been reluctant, and I've always kind of been that way. But just things from my past and stuff that haunt me to this day that I worry about with parenthood. But that's a whole nother video we could make. But I know at this point I'm safe and secure in my recovery, but it's a scary thing. But yeah. That is a conversation that is ongoing in this household, is having children or not. And do we want to do that? Do we want to start a family? Do we want to just live our life the way we have it? Because, as it is, everything's beautiful, Let's see. Parenting can be stressful. Just remember, it's okay to walk away. Yes, leave those kids at the gas station.
That's exactly what I just certainly kind of heard. That you can walk away.
You can just walk away.
I think a spot where we're definitely really at with kids right now is that we're so enjoying our life and appreciating it and living in the moment. And if God has that as part of our plan, we're very open to it. And I really love the idea of us being parents, but I'm so okay with keeping my freedom as long as I can. And I don't.
And right now we're both. But right now we're both still building our businesses, and we got a lot of things going on that, kids complicate things.
Yeah, for sure. So trusting in God's timing on that one, and
yeah, we're not doing anything to prevent it from happening. We're not exactly doing anything to push it to happening either. You know what I mean? Let's see. If the baby won't stop screaming and you ain't slept in 2 days, it's okay to walk away instead of turning them into a football. Don't just yeet the baby out the window. All right. That's good advice. 164 days into recovery. Right on, dude. Hell yeah. This is a long name. Oh, you're not a dude. Natasha! Hell yeah, Natasha Buckingham Lovesey. Lovesey? I'm slaughtering that name, but right on, 164 days. That's awesome. Guys, throw up some hearts for Natasha on hitting 164 days. Keep it up. Keep it up, man. Woman. You. Nah, man, never be embarrassed to do things you're into, even if they are aimed for a younger audience. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Parenting can be stressful. Just remember it's okay to walk. Oh, yeah, we already read that one. Oh, you got off ice. Oh, right on, Natasha. Way to go. Bro, my oldest just turned 20 last week. My goodness, man. Oh, you are old. Let's see. Hey, man, good to see you live. Love your stuff, brother. Appreciate it, David. Thanks for coming by. I don't know if you're still here, but appreciate it. Natasha, what's up? Ice been clean for 164 days today. Love your content. Down with the dope. Up with the hope. Hell yeah. You would be a great dad. Oh, appreciate that. I think I already read that one, but it was regular Spider-Man, but he was morphing, and I think he had Morpheus helping him with meds to revert himself. Oh, right on. I don't think I read that storyline, but I had a very haphazard selection of comic books when I was a kid. I never got into one single storyline. My dad was an over-the-road trucker, and back in the 90s, when you would go to gas stations, truck stops, things like that, they had these packs of comic books that they would sell, 3-4 random comics, just saran wrapped together with a $5 sticker on it. So I didn't actually really like comic books that much, but my dad thought I did. So so he would come home off the road with stacks of comic books, here, Matthew, I got you some comic books. And of course, it's your dad. So you're, hell yeah, thanks, Dad. Woohoo. And you run off and your dad got you comic books. So you read the comic books. So I eventually, through not liking them and my dad buying them for me, I started liking comic books, but I had such a haphazard collection. I don't think I ever had a complete storyline of any of it. I had a whole bunch of X-Men. I had a few Batman. I had, I remember quite a few Spawn magazines. So very just all over the place. I think I even had some of the Mortal Kombat comic books. You have flashlights still. Yeah, they're around. 1 year, 4 months, and 21 days. Hell yeah, man. This is an awesome memory of your pops. Oh, man, I love the memories of my dad, for sure. One of my favorite memories, now you got me on memory lane here. My dad came home off the road with, oh, hang on, we got sirens going by. Godspeed, gentlemen. Oh, they're heading that way. I don't know if they're bothering you guys, but I can still hear them, but I don't know if you guys can. So my dad was an over-the-road truck driver, like I said, and occasionally when he would deliver a load, he would get something that was rejected by where he was dropping it off. They didn't want the product, right? So he would just bring it home. We would not very often that he had high-end items or something. We got some humidifiers when I was a kid. I remember that. And then, but one time this was during my active addiction when I was living in my dad's basement. He'd come home off the road and he had a crate of orange peppers that got rejected at the produce section. They didn't want them. They were still good, but they were misshapen and stuff. So they got rejected and he brought them home with him. And my dad was born in the 50s, grew up in the 60s and 70s, a different time, So so he has this crate of orange peppers. And I'm like, what are we going to do with a crate of orange peppers? And he's like, we're going to sell them. And I'm like, oh, okay, set up a roadside stand or something. He's like, no. We're gonna go over to Walmart and we're gonna ask them if they want to buy this crate of orange peppers out of the trunk of my car. Well, he didn't say that, but that's what we did. So we go over to Walmart and Dad goes in and asks at the customer, and I'm like, one of those moments where you're embarrassed and you're like, oh my goodness, are we really going into Walmart right now to ask them if they'll buy a crate of orange peppers out of your trunk right now, old man? So we go into Walmart, manager comes out and offer, and the guy's like, no, we can't just buy orange peppers out of the trunk of your car. And I'm like, all right, cool. They shot him down. We're going to go home now, right? No, he's like, all right, we need a mom and pop's local grocery store, as he says. So we went over to the Ladysmith County Market down the street, and we asked them if they would buy these orange peppers. And no, they can't just buy orange peppers out of the trunk of a car. So he's like, I'm like, all right, cool. Now they shot him down. We're going to go home now. No. He's like, we're going to go to the local restaurants. So we drove around Ladysmith, stopping at local restaurants, asking if they wanted to buy any. We actually sold a couple to one restaurant. They bought just like 3-4 of them out of the thing. And then we went to the Chinese restaurant, and that guy came out so excited. Like dad said it later. He was like, he probably felt like he was back in China at the market, because he lit up like a Christmas tree. Come out there, he's digging through them, squeezing them, checking them out. He's like, made us a low ball offer on the whole case. Dad like negotiated a little ways up, and we sold the whole case of peppers to the Chinese restaurant. And it just goes to show you, sometimes Dad's not crazy.
That's a great story. All right, I'm out of here. Have a great day. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy the sunshine.
I got told to throw away 50K pounds of Anheuser-Busch. Oh, yeah? Wow. 50,000 pounds of beer. That's an awesome story, bro. Leaky Cheeks says, be safe. I said, Leaky Cheeks says to be safe.
Will do.
And check your underpants. Let's see. That's an awesome story, bro. Yeah, sometimes the old man wasn't nuts, you know. They're watching, bro. They're coming for us. Hide in the bathtub with the sirens. Freakazoid. I love Freakazoid. Remember him on Channel 11. Freakazoid. I remember him too. He was great. Let's see. Spawn is one that never got enough traction. For sure. And that old movie I still love it just because I have childhood memories of the Spawn movie that was like a great freaking movie when we were kids. You watch it nowadays, the CGI doesn't hold up. I mean, even when it first came out, I think we were all upset that the devil's mouth doesn't move when he talks. I think that disappointed everybody that has ever seen the Spawn movie ever. But like his cape and stuff like that back in the 90s, that cape looked freaking amazing. Now you watch it and it's like, what in the frick is this thing? Let's see. I like Taco Bell. It hates me. Freaking awesome. Atmosphere. That's the real life. I was homeless in Spain and I was living in a van. How I got gas money? Picking up from old farms oranges and selling them to tourists at hotels and restaurants. Hey, you know, modern problems require modern solutions. Your headband is so cute. Oh, my wife? Yeah, isn't she adorable? She's getting back into working out. I am currently in a drought of working out. I haven't worked out in over a month. She's getting back into her workout schedule, so she's been going to Pilates twice a week and doing workouts here in the house. Her and her girlfriends are sending each other workout videos and challenging each other. This morning, she is a hurting unit. She got sent this video yesterday. I come down the stairs and she's down there just frickin' like hoofing it, bro. Like she's practicing karate in the exercise room. And I'm like, oh, get it, girl, get it. Now today she's like, my butt hurts so bad. You have to do more shadow people content. That was fucking funny. Oh, dude, there's 2 shadow people videos and then I believe there's a blooper reel from either one or both of those. But yes, we will definitely have to get more of the shadow people videos. I got a few more ideas here for Matthew videos that we got to make. I got a couple that don't actually have Matthew in them, but he is the topic. So I got a notebook that I'm keeping ideas. I'm so glad that he hit home with so many people. In ways, it makes me sad that so many people understand Matthew, because it just means a lot of people deal with addiction, you know. But it's crazy to me, the faucet that is inspiration and creativity. Okay, if you're a creative person, for years, I had one Matthew video in my mind, but I didn't have the skills nor the apps or the ability to create the video. I didn't know how I would do it. But all I had was this idea in my head that it would be funny to make a video where the old me comes through the door to my house nowadays, 9 years in recovery. I have this house, I have a wife, I have a job, I have 2 jobs, I'm a content creator, all these things. And it's always been funny to me, the idea that the old me would panic. Like this, if you take a frog and put him in cold water versus putting him in, boiling water kind of a situation there. Like, it took me 9 years, slow baby steps of developing and creating this page and getting a speaking engagement and meeting my wife. And all of this stuff was one step, one little baby step, day at a time. So you don't even really notice over time, like, you see the change, but like in the moment, it's such an incremental change to your life that you don't even really notice that you're changing that much, right? But like you see the huge difference between the old me and the new me. And I always thought that would just be a funny video concept, especially the idea of him coming in and reorganizing my DVDs, because I used to do that shit. I would get methed out at people's houses and I would start reorganizing their frickin' DVDs, bro. And then I knew a guy who used to have the whole alphabetized by director. Like, that was a guy I knew that had that. So that was when I heard him say that, I was like, that is the most meth head shit I've ever heard, that somebody would do that. But he wasn't a meth head. But that idea was so meth headed to me that it stuck in my head that would be a funny joke in a video. And then just the idea of the old me showing up, that was the only idea I had. And then I finally figured out how to edit videos, and I got the right app for doing it, and I was able to make that video. And now, after making that one video that was in my head for years, in just a few months, I've made 17 Matthew videos. So it's funny to me how, like, creativity is like a faucet, it's like built up. But if you don't, once you crack it open, it just keeps coming out, So it's like, that one idea had the whole system plugged. And then once that one idea came out, it's been like, okay. And just because it was so well received, I made that one video and everybody, like, it blew up on Facebook, not like viral sensation or nothing, but it did better than my other videos had been doing. And I had recently been given the advice, if you find something that does surprisingly well compared to your other stuff, you did something. All right. So study what you just did, replicate it, do it again, and see if if this is something that sticks, So I was like, all right, well, this seems like this Matthew video might be a thing. So I made another one, and boom, that one. And so now and then my buddy was like, and the whole reason I'm over here on YouTube now is because an old buddy of mine was like, hey, I heard you're doing these Matthew videos. I heard they're really funny, but I'm not on Facebook anymore. Could you upload them on YouTube for me? And then I'll check them out. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. Honestly, I was like, my content doesn't deserve to be on YouTube. I had a barrier built in my head for the longest time that my content was not good enough for YouTube. I was good to be my little page over on Facebook, but I wasn't able to hang with the big dogs over here on YouTube in my head. But I figured, just so Tony can watch them, I'll do it. So I started uploading over here on YouTube just so I could get one view. And now it's like, I'm so amazed at how well received my videos have been here on YouTube. YouTube's growing faster than my Facebook page did. And in just a few weeks here on YouTube, we're over almost 2,000, or well over 2,000 followers already. Crazy. Let's see. Do you speak at events? I'd like to meet you and your wife. You're funny and inspirational. Yes, I do. Especially this summer, I'm really pushing in. I want to create a full-time career out of this. Not just the content creation side, but actually speaking and getting out in public and doing speaking presentations, comedy, poetry readings, workshops, any of that kind of in-person stuff. I really want to get into that. So actually, the end of this month, I'll be in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I don't know where you're located. I'm in Wisconsin. And I'm pretty localized to Wisconsin, too, at the moment. Who knows? Maybe someday this will blow up and I'll be traveling the U.S. But right now, we're in Wisconsin. So I have the end of this month, I'll be in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and then in May, I will be here in Whitewater doing a workshop on how many changes make a change in your life. Either that or it's a poetry workshop. Not totally sure yet. Got a couple months to figure that out. But yeah, I'm starting with my base goal of doing one speaking engagement every month. And if I get more than that, that's awesome. That's a bonus. You should show your content and speak about what it's like to be clean. For sure. For sure. Content is on, bro, your content is on point. Doesn't matter what you post. It's great. Always has a great point or a great message and always has me laughing. I show your videos to people at work. Oh, right on. Thinking of another poetry book coming? I probably should compile some of the poetry that I've written over the past couple of years here and put it into something. It's just hard for me to make sense of all the poetry I've written in the past couple of years to put them into some kind of logical order that makes any sense to be some kind of a collection of poems, you know? The first book, Poetry of Change, I have it here. If you're on Amazon, go over to Amazon. There's my book, Poetry of Change by Matty Jablonsky. That's 15 poems and then a short telling of my addiction recovery story. But I have that laid out in such a nice chronological order because those poems were written from back when I was in high school. Some of them were written and just starting out in my depression and my addiction, written through my addiction. And then the end of them is some of the poems I wrote in recovery. And I laid them out in a way that kind of tells the story, you know? So that collection makes sense to me. So now, like, looking at the rest of my poetry, and I'm like, how do I put this in a book? So maybe, I suppose number 2 could have some of the same poetry from the first book in it if I did like an addiction, like just did addiction recovery and just did them all, you know, instead of trying to lay them into a chronological order. Something like that. Something like that could be done. I'm near Wisconsin. Might have to try to come out sometime. Right on, man. That'd be awesome. I love meeting followers in real world. Sometimes. If you do this, every once in a while, you will meet a follower that you're like, I really wish I wouldn't have met you today. Most of the time, it's really cool. Most of the time, your followers are awesome and they're really down to earth and fun and great to put a face to the name. And it's a wonderful, like, synchronicity moment of this person that you've always, you've seen their name, they've seen you on the other side of their phone, but you've never actually met in person. And it can be a really wonderful thing. But I've had a couple interactions where I was like, oh my goodness, please just go away. I'm going to go back over by my booth and you're going to go see somebody else's booth, right? And they didn't. They follow me around like a little puppy dog all day. It's like, I like that other guy I met. Why couldn't he follow me around? Instead, I got this douchebag. That person's going to see this video and be like, hey, I followed him around that one day. I wonder if he's talking about me. Yeah, it was you. It was you. You slack-jawed fucker. All right, I'm done. It's amazing looking at what you say in addiction. Oh, for sure. To look at the old you versus the new you and the things you did and just the people you hung out with. All of it is just crazy to me when I look back sometimes. And I'm like, why? Not only the significant others that we chose. A whole video could be made on our mental delusions that happened because of the people we were with in our addictions. But also just the choices we made, the friendships with the people we bonded with, if we bonded with them. I don't know how many people in my active addiction that I told, dude, you're my freaking ride or die. We're best friends, blah, blah, blah. And I don't even remember their names anymore, you know? I was just telling Caitlin because Caitlin struggled with a cocaine problem and psychedelics back in the day. But she never got hardcore into it, into the depths that I did. I don't like to compare addictions. Addiction is addiction. You got to beat what you got to beat, right? But a lot of my stories, I have to kind of let her know why I do that or what this was from or where that joke, especially with the Matthew videos, kind of explaining, like I had to explain to her what the shadow people were. And she's like, that's fucking terrifying. I'm like, yeah, what's more terrifying is we all see them. Like to me, that points to the idea that we weren't just seeing things, that we were actually like, these were demons in the real world, that we were crossing the border of death and we were seeing spirits, you know? Because I mean, so many, like every meth addict will tell you about the shadow people. We all seen them. We all know what they were. And they were pretty vivid sometimes, dude. I remember one time I was all methed out and all like the first one that showed up, I'm sitting there staring forward and all of a sudden I see a shadow person come walking in the door with like suitcases and shit. And I'm like, well, I guess they're moving in. Thank God for recovery. But where was I going with that? Something that I was explaining to my wife about drug addiction. Not the shadow people. There was something else that I had just explained to her that I was just about to tell you guys about that thing that I explained to her. And then I bunny trailed off to the time I told her about the shadow people. Tweaker time and waiting on the dude. Like when dude's on his way, the difference between everyone's attitude towards dude when he's on his way versus their attitude towards dude when he gets there. Okay, when he's on his way, he's that motherfucker who better be here in 15 minutes because he's messaged you so many freaking times and you better not be freaking ripping me off, man. I'm so fucking tired of that guy. And when he gets here, I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind. I'm gonna tell him this isn't fucking cool, man. Left me waiting for fucking 6 hours, blah, 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 blah. And then the minute that door opens, oh, it's all cool, bro. No, don't worry about it, man. I'm just glad you're here, man. Did everything go okay, man? Oh, that's a nice car, dude. Fucking love you, man. All of a sudden, he's your best fucking friend, ain't he? Yes, thank goodness. I think it opens your third eye. Possibly, I think drugs definitely open doors in our minds. That's for sure. I think dabbling in psychedelics and methamphetamines and all these things definitely opened some things in my mind. And I'm thankful that I was able to step away from them at a point when I was still able to leave those doors open and didn't just die, you know? But when it comes to methamphetamine especially, I really think we're dabbling with sorcery of sorts. I know I might sound crazy when I say it, but I really think when you're doing that stuff, it's alchemy, you know? And that was like an old, like, when you were mixing chemicals and adding heat and doing all these things, it's sorcery. That's what they used to do for doing casting spells and stuff. You'd have the cauldron and you'd mix the chemicals and you'd boil them and you'd say your spells and you'd do your things. And when we're doing meth, you have your little rituals that you do. You know, you get out the little handkerchief and you got the little thing and you got your chore boy, or well, that's crack. Let's mess Mr. Clean Magic erasers to clean the pipe. Whatever your thing is, you know, we have our little ritual that we do before we use it, and then we mix our chemicals together and we say our little freaking stupid things that we mutter. We cast our spells on ourselves. So I really think at a lot of levels we were dabbling with spiritual shit that we didn't understand. And on some levels, I think, because like if you don't eat, you don't drink water, you don't sleep for days on end, without methamphetamine, you die. Like in most cases, if you took away the methamphetamine and just put somebody through what we would go through on a normal run, right? What a normal bender would look like, but with no drugs. Just do that to somebody. Keep them up for 7 days straight. Don't give them any water. Don't give them any food. And see if they're alive at the end of the week, right? So I think in some ways we were dead, but the meth was just pumping through our hearts so fast that we were able to live through the death. So maybe we were crossing the veil, bro, and we were seeing demons and shit. Ice makes you twacky. I like red phosphorus. Yeah, I used to call myself Flail McTwackles when I was all cracked out. That'd be another good name for Matthew, right? Flail McTwackles. Oh man, I don't miss that. I don't miss that feeling of just not being in control of your own motor skills and your own body. I don't regret experiencing it. You don't stay crazy, yeah, or you don't stay crazy. Either way, you don't stay crazy. Well, I'm just glad I was able to step away at a point where I'm not totally, completely nuts. Because some people, go until they lose their freaking mind, man. Let's see. I'll be there in 10 minutes, 2 days later. I think it's real. It puts you on a spiritual journey to find life. In some ways, yeah. That's where I've had a wrestling match in my own brain because I speak about recovery. And I used to do a lot more addiction prevention. I would go to high schools and middle schools and speak to kids about drug use and stuff. But I was always dabbling or dancing a thin line when I did that, because I am an advocate for legal cannabis, and I'm Cali sober. Cannabis helped me step away from the hard stuff. So there's that thin line where schools don't want you to talk about what really helped you. They don't want you to say that. They want you to say that you're 100% clean and sober, and that not touching anything is the only way to live, and they want you to stick to that rhetoric. They don't want to hear stories that challenge that belief. They don't want kids to think that it's okay to smoke weed, blah, 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 blah. So I kind of have to tiptoe through the tulips when I would speak at a school and not talk about how cannabis helped me, and then not talk. And then at the end, I had to change the ending of my presentation, because I said, when I did my presentation, it was 2018, and I said, it's 2018. I know you guys are probably going to drink some beer and you're probably going to smoke some weed, but I urge you to not let it become a coping mechanism. Don't let it become the only way you deal with this life, and don't let it lead to worse things, because my story could be your story, but it doesn't have to be. Thank you. And that was the end of my presentation. They had me change it to, I know it's 2018 and you may be tempted to use cannabis or alcohol or things like this, but I advise you not to. So not a big change, but they asked, they wanted it a little touched, and then, so then there's always there's going to be this backlash of it, the parents are like, oh, you had this pothead come in and talk to my kids. So I have this reservation against doing that. And then plus, along my journey of recovery, I've come to such a live and let live philosophy, in the sense of, and it's a weird thing to talk about, because I understand that addiction takes a lot of people, and you can die from the drugs that are out there these days. So it is scary to just be like, what happens. But if it weren't for my drug addiction, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I know so many other people out there that fell into drug addiction that are amazing people. And part of it is because of their drug addiction, So it's hard for me to say that I'm the master of destiny, and that, this person should never touch drugs. And you know what I mean? It's a hard thing to dabble with. Weed is medicine these days. Agreed. Amen. And I can understand the stance of, if it's medicine, so it should be, used as medicine. But also, weed is such a different category, because it can be used medicinally, it can be used celebrationally, it can be used recreationally. So it comes into this whole spectrum of different things about cannabis, It's not like a normal medication where you have heart pressure medication and all that medication does is lower your blood pressure. That's the only purpose of that medication. It doesn't do anything else. It doesn't help with pains. It doesn't ease your mind. It doesn't help with anxiety. It doesn't help with your eating disorder. It doesn't help regulate your sleep. It doesn't help regulate your mood. It doesn't make Jurassic Park funnier. Not trying to talk shit about blood pressure medication. I'm just saying there's so many more avenues that cannabis helps people on, so many more levels, that it puts itself into its own category of medicine, right? But I mean, you can put it on the herbal remedy side, but still, I mean, there's herbal remedies that specifically only do one thing, whereas cannabis is like this wide array. We can make paper out of it. You know what I mean? Like, what else can it do? Natasha, I just lost a friend on February 21st to addiction and one right before Christmas. And we lose more every single day. Some educational facilities are out of touch with the kids and what they're actually doing. Thinking they don't do anything or aren't exposed to anything ends up being more dangerous. And, you know, that's what I've said for years is look what we did with preaching abstinence in sex when it comes to sex education. Preaching abstinence, they found out it's much more effective to preach safe sex than it is to preach abstinence. Preaching abstinence doesn't work. You have more kids doing it, right? You just taught them how to do it. So they started preaching safe sex and teen pregnancy rates lowered, things like that got better. So my thought is that definitely should be applied to drugs and alcohol as well. You know, let's preach safe use and moderation and things like that. I mean, at the same time, it's hard to preach that because, like, you know where that road takes you. You know, that's a hard road. So it's such a touchy subject because, yeah, we can preach, you know, safe sex versus abstinence and stop with, you know, people being born. Or we can preach abstinence in the drug thing and stop people from living. You know, it's a weird road to walk when you're talking about drug addiction and teaching kids and stuff, you know? And look what happened with the DARE program. Made a whole bunch of drug addicts. That's all they did. Went into a bunch of schools and showed us what all the drugs look like and smell like. Here, taste this. No, no, they didn't do that. But I mean, and then they named it DARE. Like, you don't realize how into truth or dare we were in the 90s. Like, they were like, dare to do drugs. So I'll bet I'll take that dare. Exactly. Look at the countries that sex work is legal and many more people are informed about safe practice versus ignorance. You know, and it's such a weird road to walk too with legalization and decriminalization and all these other things on the forefront. I'm against like complete legalization. I think keeping drugs like hardcore drugs of abuse illegal is like a great thing to do. I know that if we legalize it, that then they can get a safe supply. But do you know how good a safe supply of drugs is? Like, they're handing you out government grade methamphetamine. Like, I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe I'm alone. I really don't think we should just be handing out pure methamphetamine and pure heroin to a bunch of drug addicts because at least they're doing it safer. We know what's in it. Like, no, stop it. Because just put a little Drano in it. You know, they need that one time where they almost die. That they gotta at least have that, you know? In my opinion, you need as many deterrents between people and the hardcore drugs as you can, especially nowadays, because let's face it, life kind of sucks nowadays, and the world kind of sucks, and we're finding out all the celebrities are eating babies, and everything's just fucking terrifying. People are gonna want to do drugs. Like, give them take cannabis, perfectly harmless cannabis, and make that legal. Make that readily available so they can just go down the sidewalk and get that 2 doors down super cheap and super easy and safe and regulated. Do that. And then, you know how many times I used to say if I could just legally get weed, I wouldn't do meth because I could get busted with a tiny bit of meth and end up in prison for 30 freaking years, bro. Whereas, like, if I could just smoke weed legally, I'd be fine. And turns out I was right, okay? If I just smoke weed, I'm all right. 9 years later, I can safely say that was a good theory. And I really think that would work for more people. Like, if weed were plentiful and cheap and available right there, a lot less people would worry about going out and getting heroin or getting meth or getting whatever else. And some people are like, oh, well, but some people, I will say this, some people smoke weed and then their first thought is, I want to go get some dope, But that's, honestly, I think that's more on the rare side. Most of the people I've ever spoken to smoke a little weed. Either they didn't know about this whole smoking weed to recover thing, but when I talk to them a little bit, they're like, oh yeah, well, when I was coming off the drugs, I always would smoke a little weed and help me sleep and help me come down. And I'm like, see, like, that was you naturally selecting a thing that was going to help you with the withdrawal process, but whatever. It seems like a no-brainer, if they're gonna do something, let them smoke some weed. And for me, it's always been like, if I'm having urges, cravings, which I haven't had in a long time anymore, I just call them reminders. I don't even call them triggers anymore. They're just reminders. Because used to be, in my first couple years of recovery, there were triggers. I remember even the door dinger on a newer Ford. If you own or have ridden in a newer Ford and somebody leaves the door open with the car running, there's this doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. One day, I think I was in my first year of recovery, and I was in a truck. I got a ride home from a guy at work, and he had to hop out at his house, and he left his door open, and the door dinged like that, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. And dude, my freaking brain instantly went back to a time when I was waiting in dude's car for him to go in and get some dope, and he left his car door open, and I had to sit there and listen to that doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. And it brought back the emotions, the waiting, when you're sitting in the car and dude's inside getting the dope, that anticipation feeling was right there when I heard that fucking doo-doo-doo. So back then it was triggers. Okay. Nowadays it's more like I see something, I hear something, I smell something that reminds me of back then. And I kind of go, heh, that was a crazy time. It's just a reminder anymore. It's not even a trigger. And I'm happy that I'm at that point because for the longest time, triggers were just I didn't even know my own triggers. So something would just pop up and all of a sudden I'm triggered, But yeah, for me, when I was having urges and cravings and triggers, I would smoke a little weed, and I was like, why was I just wanting to go get meth? That is not the answer that I need right now. It would totally help me set my priorities straight. And I think that's part of it. People demonize cannabis because of the mind or mood altering aspect of it. They're like, oh, well, you can't have any mind or mood altering substance. You can never touch that again because you're a drug addict in recovery. So you can't have any mind or mood altering substances. I understand that thought, but my counter thought is if a person is thinking about going and getting hardcore drugs like heroin or methamphetamine or cocaine, or thinking about harming themselves or thinking about taking their own life, that person needs their mood or mind altered. And cannabis is a very quick, efficient way to provide that bit of mind altering right there to redirect their thought patterns, Everything has a pro and a con. Everything has a pro and a con. And I've also often said, while we're on this subject, how they do that, you were addicted to mind-altering substances, so you can never touch a mind-altering substance again. To me, this is a very strange idea of recovery, okay? Because, as we know, drug addiction is not the only form of addiction, right? Drug addiction is just one form. Addiction comes in many forms. You can be addicted to drugs and alcohol. You could be addicted to gambling. You could be addicted to sex. You could be addicted to work. You could be addicted to food. You could be addicted to a lot of things. But drug addiction is the only one where we say you can never have the thing that you're addicted to ever again. Any other form of addiction, we teach you how to moderate, and we teach you how to we teach you how to eat the right foods and eat the right portions. We teach you how to work at a correct, at a place that doesn't trigger your workaholism. We teach you, even gamblers often have a jackpot app that doesn't require any money on their phone. any other form of addiction, we teach you how to moderate it, and we teach you how to live a successful life without it, and we teach you how to use it properly. But drug addiction, we say, nope, you can just never have that again. We don't tell sex addicts you can never have sex again. We don't tell people who are addicted to food that they can never freaking eat again. We don't do that with any other form of addiction. But with drug addiction, you can never have another mind or mood altering substance ever again. So to me, this whole harm reduction, moderation movement that we're seeing today, or I don't know what the word that I'm looking for, it's just more fitting to the situation. It's just more fitting to the situation. Damn good point, bro. See? I wish I could smoke weed. Gives me anxiety, so I don't get to do that. But I have before. Plus, I'm on probation, so I can't. Yes. Excellent points. That's my big thing, too, is if you're on paper, gotta do what the court tells you till you can get off of that paper. But I will say that some people have this weird fetish with pee, and so they sell this synthetic urine that you can buy at shops. Totally unrelated to what we're talking about here, about smoking weed. But yeah, I miss it. I'm still at the point of finding out how to function without it. Yeah, for sure. Well, if it creates anxiety and causes other problems within your other mental illness issues that you're having, if you're dealing with anxiety, depression, things like that, I often suggest too with people with depression, like myself, if cannabis is something that you utilize in your life, if you're going through a bout of depression, reduce your dosage. And I know that in a pro-cannabis, everybody should smoke some weed world, and especially me being a pro-cannabis guy, it's weird to hear me say you should smoke less pot. But but weed's a downer. So if you're going through a bout of depression, lower your dosage, and you'll be surprised how quickly you come out of that bout of depression. It really will help. So know thyself. If it interferes with other mental illnesses, especially bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, things like that, I have found most people report that cannabis doesn't help. It, in fact, makes the problem worse. It makes their symptoms of the BPD get worse. They're suddenly then getting paranoid and things like that, like on a big level of paranoia. So it really depends. To each their own, and to each strain its own as well. Each strain affects people. Each strain is different, and then each person is different, and then how each strain affects that person is different. And it's an extremely complex world anymore. And I've often told people, like, if you have a choice in the matter, 100% clean and sober is the simpler way to go. And I know that sounds crazy, because honestly, people often think that there are more rules. If you're clean and sober, there's more rules. And they think like that going Cali sober and going smoking weed in recovery, that there's less rules, because there's one less rule. You can smoke weed, right? It's one less rule. There's actually more rules in this role of recovery. And if you don't think so, then you're probably doing it wrong, right? Like if you think it's less to do it this way, then you're probably just smoking weed and just not actually doing anything to better your life. But not trying to call you out. But anyways, if you're 100% clean and sober, the one rule is no. That's the only rule, is no. Simple. Can I smoke weed? No. Can I touch that? No. Can I do this? No. All no. Simple, one rule, no. If you can smoke weed or drink beer, or you have these other moderation things going on in your recovery, it actually makes your recovery more complicated, because now it's not just no, it's okay, well, what's your dosage going to be? Okay, well, are you going to utilize it when you're feeling sad? Is it something you're going to do when you're happy? Is it something you're only going to do when you have people around? Is it something you're allowed to do by yourself? Is alcohol allowed? Okay, well then is it only beer? Is only beer allowed? Okay, well then what about hard shots? Somebody offers you a shot, are you going to allow shots? Like, there becomes all these little trickle down rules that you have to monitor and make sure that you're not using for the wrong reasons, or that you're smoking too much weed because you're going through some shit, and monitoring this and monitoring that and making sure you're getting a clean supply. And so many more rules, okay? So don't think that going the Cali Sober route is the easier, less rule way. Going Cali Sober is actually harder, trickier, and has more rules. But it works for some of us. So I always tell people, 100% clean and sober is a lot simpler. It really is. It's a simpler way. It's just no. The answer is no. Can't touch it, can't look at it, can't see it, can't smell it. No, 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 no. And for some people, that's the best way to go. And I always recommend at least like 90 days, 100% clean and sober anyways, because often you've been self-medicating. Like drug use is most often is a self-medicating thing, no matter what the drug is. We got something inside of us that we're trying to stop myself from feeling this way. So I put the drugs into me to make myself stop feeling. I turned Irish for a second there. I take the drugs and I put them in myself and I make myself feel better. All right, that's what I do, Sonny Jim. Okay. Got a little bit of the guy from Jaws in there too. I don't know what that accent was. But anyways, we're often self-medicating. And sometimes you're self-medicating for the wrong mental illness, right? I tell people it's kind of like this. If you remember, like if you've ever had heartburn, like the first time you have heartburn, you don't know what the hell is happening to your body, right? You're like, why am I feeling this pain? Am I having a heart attack? What is this tenseness going on? You might start chugging water. You might punch yourself in the chest trying to get it to quit. We're trying to you don't know what you're doing. And a lot of times chugging water and punching yourself in the chest is actually making the problem worse. It's not helping at all. So same thing with like mental illnesses. You might be struggling with depression, but if you don't know what depression is, it's often like, I don't know, what is this feeling? Is this just, am I just sad? What is it? So some of the drugs that you're putting into yourself to help self-medicate with the mental illnesses are the wrong drugs to be using. So you've been medicating yourself wrong. On the other hand, you possibly have a lot of underlying mental illnesses that you've never been diagnosed for that you don't even know, that you don't even know that you have. So a good period of 90 days, something 100% clean and sober, can at least get you to a base level where we can say, oh, okay, so you don't actually have anxiety. That was actually being caused by the meth use, okay, and you actually do have depression, so we should get you on something for that. Like, we can get you to a base level, and then we can see what drugs you don't need and what drugs you do need, so it's a good baseline to start from. And maybe you get down to 90 days, 100% clean and sober, and you're like, you know what? I actually don't need shit. I'm doing great, great, awesome. Rock your recovery that way. It's different strokes for different folks. What's going on, Charles? Good to see ya. Exactly. I end up in the woods hallucinating. Shell-shocked by looking at your head. I'm a psycho bipolar. What? Oh, and a razor eater. Crazy. J4U1G. Just for you, 1G. What? 10 years ago, I'd have took you up on that. But no. Not today. Not today, right? I have a live resin cart right now. See, those things mess me up, bro. Those things mess me up. I stick to my flower. We're talking about the rules and the regulations and the boundaries and stuff like that. I know myself on that one. Because in my recovery from methamphetamine here, like a lot of the legalization and stuff for cannabis has really been pushed forward. Carts weren't really a thing back, maybe at the tail end of my meth addiction there, carts were starting to become a thing. But they weren't even a thing that long ago, So in my recovery, I learned that that's not my route. I just end up sitting there like, what happened? Is somebody talking? Do I have to work? I think I'm supposed to be at work. I'm late. I think they can trace that synthetic pee now. They can't. What are you doing to me, Josh? So some kinds of synthetic pee can be detected. A big thing to look for is urea. You want it to contain live urea, because urea is one of the things in urine that they look for, and you can find, it's called Extreme is the kind I use, but you can find fetish pee with urea in it. Let's see. They diagnosed me ADHD finally. I'm on Vyvanse. It's an amphetamine. Yeah, see, I gotta stay away from that one. I can't do that. It calms me down. She says, probably. If you have ADHD, it might help in regulated dosage. But for me, I'd be like, wow, one made me feel really calm. I bet two would make me feel even calmer. Hi, hello, Thomas. How are you? What kind of shit you into, bro? I don't think I want to know. I'm into passing piss tests, bro. That's the kind of shit I'm into. Doing good. Good. Me too. I am 1 week into my 1 month notice at work. So going to work has been super relaxing. I don't know if you don't really like your job or it kind of stresses you out. A great way to like your job more is to quit. I put in my 1 month notice at work. I got a part-time gig I'm starting, and then I'm getting more into speaking engagements and content creation and things like that in the other times of the day. So I just finished off 1 week of my 4 week notice. I only got 3 weeks left at this bitch, and I am so ready to clock out. I've been in a way better mood at work though. Like I've been walking around just happy as shit because none of this bullshit will affect me. And in a month, I will be outside on a golf cart taking care of a campground, and this place will be nothing but a distant memory. Oh man. And what were you doing for work? Right now I'm working in a toilet factory. That's not even a lie. I make toilet parts. And it's fine. I mean, it's a good job. It's decent. It's air conditioned. It's heated. I'm running a automated production line. So like it's got like 12 to 15 robots in the cell, and I fix the faults, and I keep the materials stocked, and then we take the parts out when they come out in their packaging, that kind of thing. But I've always wanted to be a speaker, be a comedian. I can't say I've always wanted to. I am a speaker. I am a comedian. I am a poet. I am an author. And I would like to at least try my hand at making it work doing what I love. If it doesn't work out, no harm, no foul. I put in a plenty notice. I'm training in my replacement right now. And they told me if I want to come back if it doesn't work out, or I want to come back in the winter, or I need a little more work, I'm more than welcome to come back. So hell yeah. What's your thoughts on the drug test pass I gave you? I'll check it out. Let me go back up. I've been watching your videos. They're good. Appreciate it, Chris. Awesome. I like the Matthew video on the carpet. Good. There's like 17 of those. So if you go to my page, you can scroll through and find a few of them. I do some other stuff too, but I'm trying to do other stuff. Matthew has really taken over the frickin' forefront. Your videos are really good. I appreciate that, man, because I'm very new to the new editing techniques that I'm using. I'm very new to this program I've been using and stuff, but I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. So I appreciate the encouragement in it. Let me scroll back up here for just a second. I mean, look at us right now watching this random guy. It's about, let's see. I'm about to become a content creator because that's where all the money is. It doesn't matter who you are, people watch. Well, I've been doing this for 8 years, so don't believe all the hype. I mean, it is kind of like, you could call it like a little panning for gold. If you don't actually like doing it though, it doesn't matter the money. Like you won't stick with it if you don't actually like it. If you like just editing videos and I didn't like editing for the longest time. Now I have a good program called CapCut. I'm not sponsored or anything, but I finally found a program that's awesome. So if you want to get into editing videos, CapCut is awesome. But I've been doing this for over 8 years. I've had plenty of times where I was going to throw in the towel. But I make about $50 a month. And I have 18,000 followers. I have 17.5 thousand followers on Facebook, which is where I'm monetized. I'm working on monetization on YouTube. We're building the YouTube page now, building TikTok, but I only recently started going to these other platforms. So don't totally take my opinion to heart, because there are people out there that start on all of the platforms and they start getting really awesome views right away. And that might be your story. But what I would suggest is just doing it part-time, mix it in a little bit and see if you're good at it, see if you like it. That's the big thing. Do you like it? Because some people are just like, no, this just isn't for me. I can't do this. I don't like looking at my face on the camera. I don't like hearing my own voice. I don't like whatever. You get kind of sweaty when you sit in front of a camera with lights on you for a while. So there are downsides to it for sure. Let me go back up though here. I was looking for a comment. Let's see. I'm already bunny trailing and finding other comments. What was the guy's name? Something with capital letters. I remember that. We're back up by Razor Eater again. Now I've gone way too far. Let's see. I recently got diagnosed with autism, says Thomas. Oh, right on. That's probably a really simple test. They show you a few pictures of some trains. You're like, yeah, I kind of like those. They're like, okay, you're borderline autism. They show you a picture of John Cena. You're like, I love John Cena. They're like, okay, you have Down syndrome. I'm done. Let's see. All right, I'm still looking for this comment. Yeah. Oh, okay. Odd Beast 25. Still looking for the comment, but I'm finding other ones yet here. I started using it at 16. I'm 34 now and been clean a year and 4 months and 21 days. Longest I've been clean. Took weed this time and it's helped so much. Right on. We are seeing more and more people making progress in recovery with cannabis. I really think it's going to be more of a key instrument in the war on addiction than anybody realizes, because it's so outside of the box to think that a mind or mood altering substance could help somebody with a substance use disorder. They're like, what? No. Like, we need to keep them away from those things. And I'm like, no. Just this one. Just let them try this one. Just give them this little joint. Let them watch Jurassic Park and tell me they don't feel better in an hour. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Oh yeah, so Chris, I was working at the toilet factory running their automated line. Now I'm going to part-time maintenance guy at the campground here in town. Let's see. I bet, bro, it's like you about to go on vacation. You know how it feels knowing you're about to leave work for a week and get paid for it. Yeah, and plus, like, I got a really shitty coworker. I got one that's really awesome, Olga. She's my madre de trabajo. Like, she is awesome. She's my mother at work. Every time she goes to get a soda, she brings me one. She brings me burritos and tacos sometimes. She's just got a warm, loving energy to her. She's just a wonderful woman to work with. I love Olga. And she's in her 60s and she runs circles around some of these young kids, man. She's a great worker. She's got a good attitude, but we got this one other bitch that honestly 75% of the reason I'm quitting is because of her, but I thank her for it. I thank her for being such a shitty worker, because if she was a good worker, I would probably stick around for quite a while and I wouldn't have felt this giant push in me. Just a few months ago, all of a sudden, something in me was like, I am so sick of working with this bitch that I'm gonna make my dreams come true. She's such a terrible worker that she has motivated me to chase my dreams and start my own business because I don't want to work with this stupid bitch no more. So be thankful for terrible employees and shitty coworkers, because they will push you and make you realize you don't want to do this shit anymore, and you'll finally get shook up and actually do something with your life. So her and her infinite bullshit has given me the motivation to go chase my dreams. Because even if I fail, at least I don't have to work with that bitch anymore, you know? Yeah, fuck factories, man. I'm a carpenter. Something told me carpentry or concrete. Those were like the two options that came into my head right away. As soon as I seen you, I was like, yep, this guy's a carpenter or a concrete worker. Probably both. Let me guess. You do some carpentry, but you'll pour some concrete too. At least form up some walls. I know he can form up walls. What's your thoughts on the drug test pass I gave you? Okay, all right. So Odd Beast, I apparently can't find your comment. Let me come back down here. Odd Beast, it's not that easy to make and monetize. You don't just put it out and instantly get a bunch of views and followers. I'd gamble all that in a day. Matters who you are. If you're not funny, you're not funny. But I mean, it doesn't always have to be funny. There's plenty of ways to make concrete. Plenty of ways to make concrete. No, there's plenty of ways to make content. You can talk about a million different subjects up on these different platforms, and you can find your niche and find an audience and get it done. I even follow a few people that they're not funny, but they give good informational content. So it really depends on the avenue that you're exploring, on how it fits your attitude and stuff, and what you're going to post about, what you're going to talk about. But yeah, some people just have the personality for it. Some people don't, but they make it work. But everybody that I know that's actually like making this work and has built something meaningful, they didn't start because they wanted to do the money. The people that I follow that just want to do it for money are the people that post AI bullshit, and they post nonsense, and they post rage bait, and they do all this terrible shit that I shouldn't say terrible shit. You do you make your money however you make your money. But for me, I don't like all the rage baiting and just all the manipulative tactics to get your view. I would rather I'll make my videos and I'll have a good topic and stuff like that, but I'm not going to do something that it's intentionally made to get those fucking assholes to come out of the woodwork and troll me just so I get paid from their negative comments. I'm not into that. And I like actually having a good rapport with my commenters and stuff. I love replying to comments and like actually having a chat in the comment section on my videos. I love doing that. So for me, it's more about the connection and the building, spreading a good message and making people laugh and stuff like that. And if I get paid and monetize my page at the end of the day, that's just a bonus, because I can still work and make a living on the side. If someday this grows to the point where this is what I do for a living, awesome. I'm down with that. I mean, you'll still find me outside with a chainsaw because I need tools in my life, okay? I need to do physical labor. I have to. It's something that's built inside of me from growing up in northern Wisconsin. I don't know what it is. But yeah, if you get into it just for the money, you won't last. You won't last because it's not that fun. But if you like it, if you're like, this is cool, I could do this, then it's worth it. It's worth it to just keep making videos and keep editing and keep posting shit, because if you see the fun side of it and you start making genuine connections and you can ignore the haters and get through all the rubbish, it's fun. It's fun. But you got to make it fun too, Let's see, you will be working for free for the most time when content creation for hundreds, if not thousands of hours before any tractions. Oh yeah, I did this for years for free. I don't remember how long I did it on Facebook for free, but I've been monetized on Facebook for a few years now, and the most I've ever made was like $250 in 1 month. And I've been doing that for 8 years. And I had one post, and it was my niche is like addiction, recovery, comedy, stuff like that. I'm expanding my niche these days because I've kind of realized I need to spread my audience out a little bit. That's a whole nother subject. That's another thing, is getting into the analytics and understanding what makes a viral video and all this other crap. It's so much learning, and it's a job, man. It's a job being a content creator. What was I saying? I keep losing my fucking train of thought this morning. But you will always be working for free. Okay, so yeah, I've been monetized on Facebook for a few years now, and like I said, I had one post that went like semi-viral. I don't know, it got like 160,000 shares, and I randomly made $250 on one single post that had nothing to do with addiction recovery, had nothing to do with like anything. So if you didn't know this, the little girl that did the voice of the little girl in All Dogs Go to Heaven. Okay, you remember that movie, All Dogs Go to Heaven? Okay, the little girl in that movie, Anne Marie, the voice actress who did the voice of that little girl, also did the voice of the Triceratops in Land Before Time. But I found out that she was murdered by her father. Like, before they even finished making All Dogs Go to Heaven, this little girl was murdered by her own father. And Burt Reynolds recorded the line where he's going off to heaven and he says goodbye to the little girl. Like, he recorded that line after she was dead, and he recorded that line to say goodbye to this real life little girl. I found all this out and I was like, holy shit, like, I had no idea. So I made a quick post, because it was, honestly, I was crying even. I made a quick post. I threw together the pictures of Ducky and the little girl. Oh, I'm tearing up thinking about it. Ducky and the little girl, and from All Dogs Go to Heaven, and said, her birth year and her death year. And then I said, I just found out what happened to this little girl and I'm not okay. And I posted that, and it got 2-3 reactions the day of the post. The next day it kind of fell into nothing. I didn't think about it. And then all of a sudden, like a week later, my phone is blowing up, like going crazy. And I got fucking 160,000 shares on that post. I got so many comments and reactions. And so out of nowhere, I had this post that has nothing to do with my niche blow up, and I got $250 that month. But that was the most I've ever made. It was a random occurrence. I wasn't even trying to do it. In my head, I was kind of like, really? Out of all the times that I have poured my soul into this phone, none of that gets any traction. But this post that I made about this little girl, which, I mean, yeah, that's a terrible tragedy, but that one was the one that skyrocketed. But other than that, for the longest time, I made about $12 a month doing Facebook. And that's not just posting randomly. That's like posting every single day, well-written posts, doing live videos almost every single day, making pre-made videos like at least twice a week, and I would make $12 to $50 a month for years. And I still, last month I made $46 doing this. So it's a lot of putting in effort. And in order to monetize on YouTube, you have to have a shit ton of watch hours. So we're racking them up right now, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. You have to have a crazy amount of watch hours before they even start sending you checks on YouTube. Facebook, I don't really know what the requirements are. It's just when they decide to send you an invite to their monetization program, you accept the invite, you do the application, you wait forever without knowing anything. Like, after you fill it out, the notification goes away. The little thing you could click on to see your application goes away. It all just goes away, and you're left sitting there going, what happened? Did I click the wrong button? Did I not send the thing? Why can't I go look at the application I sent in? There's no notification telling me that, it's going to be this long. And you sit in this I don't know what I just did window for months. For however long it takes them to get to your application. And then you either get approved or denied at that point. With TikTok, it seems to be you can make a little money right away, but that money comes from your viewers. So that's the takeaway on that one. Like Facebook, I get paid, but I actually get paid by Mark Zuckerberg himself, comes to my house and hands me a check every week. No, I'm just kidding. But it actually comes from Meta. I get a direct deposit. Hi, buddy. But like TikTok, it's more like, you want to come up? Something scary? Was you something scary? Come here. Come here. Come on. There he is. Don't puke on camera. Don't puke on camera. This is our dog, Bodie. He is a beautiful mixture of a blue heeler, a beagle, and a basset hound. And he came out wonderful. He's a whole mix. Here, you want to say hi, Bodie? Can you look at the people? There. Oh, he's a good boy. And that dog can't hunt. All right, he's the house dog. He ain't no hunting dog. He's gun shy. You even drop something. This dog is in my lap trembling. So he got to be the house dog. He don't have to hunt. But he's got a hunting nose, that's for sure. He will sniff out anything at any time and get himself into trouble chasing bunny rabbits across the road because of that nose. But he can't hunt, right? You don't like guns. You don't like loud noises. Somebody closes their car door a little hard and he starts trembling. It's okay, my big boy. It's okay. You're just a scaredy cat. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. You're brave. You're a big, brave boy. Yes, you is. He's a big, brave boy. The biggest, bravest dog in the whole wide world. He got these stumpy little legs. They're so cute. You just gonna hang out with me for a little bit? All right, I gotta scoot back in a little bit though, so I can talk to these guys. I can't see the comments, Bodie. All right, coming back. Hang on, let me rearrange here. There we go. It's right above that. Oh, okay. Hang on. I rewrote it. We're still on this. I just noticed who you were, man. I love your videos. I'm sorry I called you a random. No, you're cool, man. You're cool. Oh my God, no, I'd gamble all that in a day. What's your thoughts on the drug test pass I gave you? I mean, look at us right now. I mean, yeah, I make Matthew videos, but I still am just technically some random guy. No, I don't know. I think YouTube was like, no, you guys stop talking about how to pass piss tests because you're being a bunch of bad influences up here. It's right above that. I can't find it. I'm all the way back. It was the comment right above autism. I think YouTube muted you, bro. It muted that one or something. Recently died. Yeah. All I got right above that one is I recently got diagnosed with autism. Right above that one is from Chris saying, LMAO, I feel you. So either YouTube was like, no, you don't get to share that with people, or something happened. Well, I live in a trailer park full of real Matthews, and it's great. Their content in real life. Their content in themselves, for sure. Plus, my mom and dad were addicts. That left me to being an addict. I'd like to share my story. I feel people will connect. Right on. If you can, like I said, don't let me talking my shit about how little I make and stuff deter you. If you really want to do this, hopefully if you want to do it enough, no matter what I say, you'll say, I don't care, I still want to do it. And if that's you, if I can stand up here and tell you that I make $12 and $12 a month and you don't get that for 2 months, all right? So what you make in January, you get paid in March for, because they hold it for a month. So whenever you get accepted to the content creator paid monetization shit, I don't know how it works on TikTok or YouTube. I'm not monetized over here yet. But on Facebook, they hold it for a month. So whatever I make in January, I don't see until March. I remember when I first got monetized and they said that, and I was like, what? I gotta wait 2 months? And it was at a time, of course, it's always when you're like, you need some extra money to come in right now because you're kind of tight on bills and stuff. And then they're like, yeah, well, we're gonna get paid. You're gonna get paid for Facebook in 2 months. Good luck with that rent for the next 2 months. And then you get paid from Facebook and it's $12 and you're like, maybe this isn't what it's all cracked up to be. No, my story will make millions, and what I've been through, it's worth it to sell not my soul, my story. Right on. 15 minutes from the beach. If Pranks needed to do something, there you go. If you got the ideas, get her. Drug test passes where the emoji is. You know what? I'm done with this wild goose chase, okay? I can't find it. I'm sorry. You're either going to have to tell me again or message it to me. In the amount of comments you made to redirecting me up to the first comment, you could have just retyped the first comment already. Yes, I think you need 3,000 watch hours, I believe. Yeah, 3,000. It's actually 3,000 watch hours within 90 days. So thanks for the help on it today, guys. Oh, the little dogger healers are the best. He's great. 6 Monoctol clears your system in 48 hours if you keep your hydration up. Oh, right on. I don't know what monosectal, like a pterodactyl, but a monosectal. Monosectal M clears your system in 48 hours. Right on. Well, most often, what we were talking about was probably more like you got to get it figured out right now. And the only way I've ever found with something that could help you pass a piss test day of, where you're not like getting somebody else's piss or buying synthetic piss, is multivitamins and water. And believe it or not, so I'm such a terrible influence. You guys, you go fail your piss test and get in trouble, you fuckers. That's what happened to me. If that wouldn't happen to me, I'd be in the army right now. No, but so the only way I've ever found other than replacing it is by bypassing it. So it's a trick that me and my brother have used multiple times to pass piss tests for jobs, pre-employment piss tests. It doesn't actually flush your system. Everything is still in your system, but you're peeing so much that it doesn't have an opportunity to get into your pee. Okay, so so what we would do, and you make yourself feel like absolute shit, like because you drink like 2-3 gallons of water. Like I'm talking, you're chugging water. Day of your piss test, you are constantly get your water, fill it again, chug it. And then the whole while, every couple hours, you're taking a couple multivitamins, like Men's 1 a day, everything vitamins, right? That have all of your essential minerals and everything is in that little multivitamin pill. Taking a bunch of those and you're drinking so much water that you're peeing out every hole you got. Okay? You're peeing out your butt. It's not a pretty scene. You feel like shit. You're white as a ghost. You literally you can make it 5-10 minutes before you're like, oh my God, I gotta go to the bathroom right now. And you go take that piss test in the middle of all of this. Okay? So the worst part is you usually have to do a job interview before the piss test, and you're going to walk in there flush white, possibly pissing your pants, like, and your pee is like a neon green. It's not a normal pee color, but this is terrible. But anyway, so you go in, you do your interview feeling like shit. You let them know, I got to take the piss test right now because I drank, and I've even told them, like, I drank a bunch of water before this to make sure I could pee. So can we do the piss test right away? Like, and they'll let you do it. But you drank 3 to 5 gallons of water. So even though you took the piss test and your role of passing that piss test is now over, you still have a lot of pee. So now you got to go back and make it through the job interview without having to use the bathroom again. By the end of the day, you feel like absolute shit, but you passed your piss test and you got your job, so that was the goal. And if you got that, the rest is just a bonus. Yeah, if you don't take the multivitamins, then they'll say it's just water. Yes, it will come out diluted, and you will not pass that piss test if it's just water. But if you have the multivitamins mixed in there good enough, then it comes up on the test that it's pee, because it's got urea in it because it went through you, and then it's got the water base, and then it's got all the vitamins from the multivitamins, so they will think it's pee, but it looks funny. You look like you're pissing radiator fluid, but you got the job. Let's see. Yo, Matt, thanks for the content. Going to pick up my homeless brother today. Everybody on the up, hopefully. Right on, man. I hope that you can help him out and get him back up on his feet. Scaredy little pooper. Yeah, there's my scaredy little pooper. He's still hanging out. He's still just gonna hang out here. He's got his head on the armrest. He's happy. You doing good over there, Bobo? How you doing, bud? You doing good? Yeah, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. Yeah, you just relax. We've been live for 1 hour and 41 minutes. Holy crap. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning, guys. How's your brother doing? See, again, it's weird with the names on YouTube. Don't even know this person asking me about my brother. Which one? I got 4 of them. But they're all doing good. They're all doing pretty good. Atmosphere Airlines. Are you a pilot? That's my question today. Are you? Can I click on your thing? Oh, I can't get out of here and see your channel right now. 6-monosactylmorphine is the metabolite tested for to check heroin use. Ha! Wow. Didn't know that. Nah, I'm Skater. Skater? Oh, so you're not a pilot. Oh. I was like, that's not your real name. I asked you for your real name. I guess technically these days because I have 4 real brothers. Or no, actually, all right, let's break it down. I have 2 whole brothers, real brothers, same mom, same dad. Then I have 2 half brothers, that same dad, different mom. And then I have 2 step brothers, my stepdad's kids. And then I have 2 brother-in-laws, my wife's brothers. So I have collected pretty much every kind of brother you can have. I don't know if there's any other kind of brother I could get. Maybe an adoptive brother. If I could get my mom to adopt 2 more boys, then I would have 2 adopted brothers, and I would have the whole set. Just a really weird Noah's Ark. Just a bunch of bros. A brother from another mother? I got 2 of those too. My buddy Tony and my buddy Ryan. Those are my brothers from another mother. Yep. Got them all racked up. Just going to keep them on a shelf. You just mentioned that you used to drink water and vitamins with your brother. That's why I asked. Oh. Well, that was a very nice thing of you to ask. I'm touched. I don't think anybody's ever asked me how my brother's doing after just hearing one story about me and my brother trying to pass piss tests. That's funny, but I love that. Thank you. He's doing good. He's a recovering addict as well. We used to frickin' run and gun together a lot back in the day. These days he's a mechanic. He owns his own shop. He's married, got a herd of kids. I helped him on the beginning of his recovery journey, so I'm super thankful that I was able to find recovery when I did, so that I could have my boots on the ground firmly planted, so that when it came time for my brother to step into recovery, I was able to say, all right, come stay with me, and we'll do this damn thing, And I was able to help him get on his feet, too. So the blessings of recovery, man. Let's see. 6 years clean, bro. What? Right on. Congratulations, man. Guys, throw up some hearts for J-Jam. J-Jam Gaming on 6 years. Well, 7. April 15th will be 8. Okay, so how many is it? I guess it's 6. Nah, I guess it's 7. All right, well, coming up on 8 in a month. It's been a long time, huh, bro? It's been a long time. Between 6 and 8 years. So, guys, throw some hearts up for 6 to 8 years of recovery here. That's awesome. Thanks for coming by, man. And I think keeping that kind is frowned upon these days. Let's see. Well, there is another kind. Another kind of what? Username. Oh, okay. You're the pterodactyl 67 guy or whatever. Pterodactyl 67. Your first adopted brother. There is another kind. Oh, another kind of brother, maybe? Another kind of brother. Yeah, it's been too long. It racks up. It's like that meme of the chick from, the old lady from Titanic. It's been 84 years. That's how I feel some days. Oh, welcome to recovery, where everything takes forever. Like, dude, the 13 years I spent on meth went by so fast. It went by so much faster than the last 9 years of recovery have. I will tell you that, okay? The world moves at normal speed out here. We've discovered a way to travel through time at the speed of regular time. Yeah, it's like, but I think it's partially the mindset change of, because when you were in your drug addiction, you're only focused on Friday night. They always say that. But it literally is like you're so focused on what happens over the next couple days. Like, even if I was jonesing and wanted to get high and I called my dude and he was like, yeah, I got it. I can be there in an hour. I was like, Okay, but I'm going to call some other people and check and see if I can get it sooner than an hour. An hour is too freaking long to wait, you know? An hour was an eternity to me when I was on meth. So to go from that mindset of like an hour is too long to wait to coming into recovery where shit takes years to start feeling better, right? Like, it's such a mindset change and it's such a different world. Like, because you go through freaking hell to get anything done in recovery, dude. Takes forever. And there's all this, like, the crazy thing about coming into recovery, or one crazy thing is, like, especially for me, I was facing all kinds of court cases and charges and shit at the end of my addiction. So to have to put your life together, scrape yourself off the floor, and then now you have all these professional things you have to go do. You have to go in front of a judge and face the judge and face a jury and plead your case and work with lawyers and do all this professional, grown-up stuff when you are still acting like a little kid. You know? It's kind of a crazy quick shift you got to make to get your shit together before you go see this judge and tell him how you're doing, you know? Yeah, we're no engineers, so rebuilding burnt bridges is difficult. Hey, that's a good one. That's a good one. You got a lot of burnt bridges to rebuild. You doing good there, Bodie? I think it's about time I end this live video and get some things done and get myself ready to go in for the beginning of the end of my job. Tell you what, if you don't like your job, a way to make you like it a lot more, quit. Just quit. Just go put in your notice, and then all of a sudden going to work ain't so bad. Woo! I only got 3 more weeks left. All right, guys. Thanks, Bodie. Thanks for joining me this morning. Hope you guys had as much fun as I did. I will catch you soon. Probably Thursday mornings, 10 a.m. We'll be here on YouTube live. Tuesday mornings, I'm on Toothless Tuesday over on TikTok. So if you want to see me with no teeth, come over to TikTok Tuesday mornings and I take out my top denture and we go live over there. And anything that comes in from TikTok is going towards helping somebody get their teeth fixed. So if you want to follow me on TikTok, that'd be awesome. That's the same thing. I think it's at Matty Jablonsky or at Matty J on TikTok, one of those. Or search for Matthew. You can find me that way too. But, so anything that comes in on TikTok over there is going to go to help somebody get their teeth fixed eventually when we get there. We're still growing. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you soon. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay clean. I don't know how to end this. Oh, there it is. I got it. I got it.